y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm Janelle and this is Janelle Ray Budgets, and in today's video we are going to talk about reasons why I think it is important or why you should start a cash stuffing budget. And it's just going to be a list of 10 things that I think are important, and I brought these along just to kind of show you some ideas of things that you can stuff for, and then there's some other things too that you might be interested in. So just to get started in this series that I am doing, which I think it's only going to be like a 3 or 4 video series, but I just want to talk a little bit about why I think it's important and why it has benefited my family doing the cash budgeting. So the first thing that I want to talk about is that it can build financial awareness. So doing a cash stuffing budget or a cash stuffing system makes you more aware of your spending habits by handling your money and categorizing your expenses. So what I found is that when I was actually taking the money and putting the money into certain categories and taking the money out of the bank, it helped me be aware of what I was spending. When I used to spend with just a check or a credit card or, a debit card, I don't know, it kind of just allowed me to be able to spend more frequently or without, I guess, the knowledge of what I was doing. So I would just, swipe it, and then, try to figure out how to cover it later. But when you're actually paying with cash, or when you actually pull that money out of the bank and you see and you touch your cash, I think it just makes you more aware of your financial situation. So that is one reason that I would say is a good idea for starting a cash stuffing system. It encourages, saving discipline. So by allocating cash specifically for saving goals, you're more likely to set money aside consistently for emergencies, debt repayment, or for future purchases, which is what I use this binder for. So this is my savings challenge binder, this is my sinking funds binder. So it has like my emergency in it, house taxes, house insurance, business taxes, retirement, car maintenance, car insurance, debt snowball, Ryan, Tyler, the kids, homeschooling, pets, and birthdays. So these are categories that I have deemed as sinking funds. This is something that I take money each month when I do it a little bit different than a lot of people, but when I first started out, I would take money for these and I would say like, okay, we got a paycheck of this amount of money. So I'm going to put this much towards this envelope, this much towards this envelope, this much towards this envelope. And I think it helps you when you're doing that because you're making your money work for you instead of you working for your money. So it helps you to save and encourages you to save for the different categories so that you're building your savings instead of taking out of your savings. I hope that makes sense. It prevents overspending. Once the cash in a category is gone, you can't spend more, helping you stick to your budget and avoid unnecessary debt. So say that for birthdays, I save all year for birthdays. And then when it comes down to somebody's birthday, I spend what is in here. So I do try to, stick with this. So right now we have 220, 40, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73. So we have $273 because 200 of this is in the bank. And so that means that for my kid's birthday coming up, if I were to put nothing else in there, I would need to stick with spending this $200 for that. So my Christmas budget this year was $1,500. I saved for that earlier in the year. Now that we are Christmas shopping, we are only spending out of that $1,500. If we have extra money, that's great. It'll go towards next year. If we spend all $1,500, then that's it. We don't spend over that. It just helps me know that, we have spent that money and that's it. For that category, that money is gone. So like emergencies is, it's something that comes up and you never know when you're going to have an emergency. Now, this is one category that I would say that if you spent this and you're just having really bad luck, then there might be other categories you might be able to borrow from for emergency, but then you want to repay it back. So it just tells you that, if you are cash stuffing your wallet and you spend, $250 at the grocery store every week. So you put $250 into your envelope for that week. Then what you do is you take that $250, you go to the grocery store and you spend it. And once that $250 is done, then that's it for you. You try. Sometimes there's emergencies and sometimes you have to, but you try really hard to only spend the money out of that category. So it prevents overspending. It can reduce your financial stress by knowing exactly where your money is going. It gives you a sense of control, reducing anxiety about bills or unexpected expenses. So when we get our money, and I don't do this on camera anymore, and I don't know if I should or not. The budgeting videos, when I was doing them, they weren't getting a lot of views. But if you guys would like to see how I budget, then I can definitely bring those back. But what we used to, and it's a little bit different for us now because Clark isn't working. So basically my Etsy is our income right now. So what I would do is on Fridays, I would get how much money he was getting. And then I would take that money and I would break it down into each category. And each category would get in a certain amount, depending on what bills were needed, how much savings we had left over. Bills and groceries, the cash wallets always came first. And then whatever was left over would go towards sinking fund or savings. So it was very helpful in reducing the stress by helping me know that this money is going to this specific category. It simplifies budgeting. Cash stuffing offers a straightforward visual system to manage your finances, making it easier to budget even for those new to personal finances. So, elaborating on that by simplifying your budget, it just means that you are seeing where your money goes. You are actually touching it. You are putting it into your envelopes. You know where your money is going. So therefore you're seeing it. You know what you're doing. That was one of the biggest things for me, is being able to see where my money was going. When I cash stuff or I do savings challenges or I'm saving for a month ahead, I know where that money is going. Like, I know that I'm putting this much money into house renovation or this much money into water. And I know this, and that is helpful for me to be able to know where the money is going. So there's that. It will simplify your budget. It encourages goal setting. And yes, you guys, I am reading this off of notes that I have made for myself, because if I would have sat here and tried to do this without the notes, I would have forgotten everything and I would have just sat here and been like, yeah, so you should probably do cash stuffing. Let's try it out. Okay. So I am reading off of notes that I did make. So encourages goal setting. With specific envelopes for goals like vacation, holidays, or a new car, you stay motivated and focused on reaching your target. So that is one of the biggest things, like goal setting. And, it doesn't have to be elaborate goals. It could just be that you want to take a vacation and that vacation is going to cost you $3,000, or you budget for $3,000. Then you're saving for that vacation. You're putting money towards that every single month or every single week or every single whatever it is that you cash up every other week, whatever. And it's just helping you reach that goal so that when it comes time for that vacation, you're not stressed out about, oh my goodness, where am I going to get this money from? You have it because you've been saving for it. You've been saving for that vacation or that new car, that down payment. That's something that a lot of people save for. Debt. So it encourages you to set those goals to be able to save the money for a specific item. It promotes accountability. So handling cash forces you to be mindful of your financial choices, creating accountability for every dollar you spend or save. I think that was one of the biggest things for us, was the accountability. Because with us being able to track where our money was going and, being able to have these envelopes to put the specific money in, it was so easy to be able to say, okay, so we have this much money in family fund, so we are able to go do this time. So and then you're making, like I said, you're making your money work for you instead of you working for your money. I think that's one of the biggest things that I learned from this, is making every dollar count, making every dollar have a place. That is one of the biggest things that I do with every single pay, is I make sure that every dollar is going into a specific place. And yes, I do leave a buffer in my checking account, so I don't technically zero out my budget. I zero it out for us, and then I leave a buffer in the account just in case there's ever an emergency where, Clark's out somewhere and that's my husband, he needs something. And so he runs into the store to grab it. Or I'm out and I realize, oh man, I need gas, but I don't have my wallet with me, which I don't know why I wouldn't, but just in case, there's always a buffer in the account. But it makes you accountable for your money. It makes it accountable for your spending. And that is one of the biggest things, is tracking your spending. Just track your expenses and track your spending, because that was one of the biggest eye openers for us, is seeing where our money was going. So that was just, the accountability part was huge for us. And then it improves money habits. So consistently tracking expenses and saving fosters healthy financial habits that can lead to long-term stability. So that's, like I said, again, tracking your expenses and tracking where you spend your money really is an eye-opener, because you may think, oh, I'm not spending that much on eating out. But then when you go and track it, you realize that you really are spending a lot of money on eating out. And you could probably save a lot of money if you didn't eat out every single day, or if you were saving specifically for eating out. That was one of the biggest things for us, is just money habits. It really helped us to be able to save and do the things that we've done in the last 2 years. Disney, we went on a trip to Disney. We've taken vacations. We were able to pay off some debt. It just really, really, really helps you, your money habits. It improves how you look at money and your relationship with money. It's huge. It's a huge change. Customizable for any lifestyle. So whether you're managing a family budget, tackling student loans, or saving for retirement, cash stuffing can be tailored to fit your needs. So this can be for somebody with a big budget. This can be for a low income. This can be for a family, a single person. Anybody can do this. It's really, 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 anybody can do this. And I know that people say, well, I can't, I'm on a low budget. Yes, you might be on a low budget. And we started out on a low budget. I would still say that we're on a pretty low budget, to be honest with you. But you can still make your dollars work for you. You can. There's always, like I said, when you start tracking your expenses, you can see where you have spent money that maybe you shouldn't have, that you should have maybe put that money, instead of going to McDonald's 5 times, you should have maybe only gone to McDonald's twice, and you can take that extra money that you're not going to McDonald's anymore and put it into a cash envelope. So even people on low budget can do cash stuffing, and it really can help you and open your eyes, especially if you're tracking your spending and your expenses. Like, that is one of the biggest things that I have to say, is track your spending and your expenses. Really. It will honestly surprise you when you sit down and actually go through your bank account and see where your expenses and stuff are. It will actually really surprise you. And guys, I hope that this isn't boring, just me moving my hands around, but there's not really much I can do when I'm talking this much, because if I were to cash stuff during this, it would be a mess. So I've only got one more to go over. That's 9. So here's 10, and it can makes financial goals tangible. Watching your envelopes grow is rewarding. A visual reminder of your progress, making your goals feel more achievable. So, that is probably also one of the biggest rewards I have ever seen. So if you watched my last video where I unstuffed the 100 envelope and the taco, you guys, being able to unstuff that money after stuffing it all year is just, it's so rewarding. Like, it is so amazing and so rewarding. And even like your emergency fund, once you reach, like, they say you should be at 1,000, but maybe you can't make it to 1,000. Maybe you only do 500. But once you get that envelope fully funded and you make it to 500, it is really rewarding to be able to have the money in your envelopes, and you're seeing your savings grow. You're watching your savings grow. And that's a huge rewarding part of the cash stuffing system, because you're actually visually seeing it. Like, you're watching it happen right in front of you. So that has been one of the biggest rewards that I have done over the I started cash stuffing in 2021. And then in October of 2021, to be exact. And I stopped in about April of 2022. We had a lot going on, and I just stopped. Well, then we moved into this house that we're in, and I realized that was in April. So actually, I think I stopped cash stuffing probably in maybe March or February. I stopped cash stuffing and I stopped paying attention to my budget. We moved into this house, and by October of 2022, I could really see how our budget had changed and how we were struggling again. We didn't have money, we weren't saving, and it was really hard for me to admit that I needed to get back on the cash stuffing. So we started back up in October of 2022. Have not stopped since then. And it has been amazing. It is such a rewarding thing to see your money grow. It really is. So those are the 10 things that I have. It was quick. It was simple. It was to the point. And I would strongly suggest that if you are thinking about it or have already started but are kind of lost, reach out. There are a lot of people in the budgeting community that probably would answer your questions. I'm always available to answer any questions that I can. I will help you out if you need help. But just the biggest thing I can say is if you're teeter-tottering back and forth between do I start, do I not start, do I start, do I not start, just start. Just take an envelope and start stuffing $1 a day or $5 a week or whatever you want to do, but just start and you will honestly see the rewards. And as they start to pay off, you'll want to do more and more and more. So there's so many things you can do with cash stuffing and it's so much fun. And then, you've got your savings challenges that you can do. There's a slew of Etsy shops everywhere. Some of them have really low income savings challenges and some of them are a little bit higher. But, I have an Etsy shop. There's Liz and Les, her sticker challenges, Golden Girl Budgets, Ren. I mean, there's a lot of shops out there, you guys. And savings challenges for me, so the way that I use savings challenges is I use my savings challenges to fund my sinking funds. So my savings challenges, whatever I save from them goes into my sinking funds, and that's how I do this. Except for my big ones like my 2024 or my envelope challenge. Those ones went into their own category. But these sinking funds and a few of the others, they go in here to fund my sinking funds. So that is how I do sinking funds. But there are people out there that, do it completely differently, and they stuff their sinking funds and then they stuff their month ahead. And then they stuff their bills binder and they stuff their cash wallet, and then they do savings challenges on the side as well. And the savings challenges are for specific purpose, like birthdays or a vacation or whatever. So you really honestly and truly, the beauty of cash budgeting, cash stuffing and cash budgeting is you can make it your own. You can make it work for you. But like I say, make your money work for you, not you work for your money. I know you have to work for your money technically, but you make your money work for you. That is the biggest thing. Okay, so that is where this one is going to end. The next video in this series is going to be how to start. So if you haven't started yet, I'm going to give some tips on how to start. The third video is going to be showing just some basic items that you could purchase to start, some cheaper items, not necessarily spending all of the bells and whistles, but just some cheaper items from Amazon that you could use. They're not the ones I started out with, but they are similar to what I started out with. So I'm going to show those. And then I think that's going to be it. So there's just going to be 3 videos, but I just wanted to do this series, this short series of, cash stuffing and all of that. So that is it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it was helpful. And like I said, if you guys have questions, please just reach out. The best place to get a hold of me is Etsy. That's where I see most of my stuff, or Instagram. Etsy or Instagram. Instagram is hit or miss, but I do try to check my stuff on there as much as possible. So if you have any questions, reach out. Otherwise, you guys, I wish you happy budgeting and good luck, and we will see you in the next video. Bye, y'all.